Welcome back to Lifting Motors. I thought I was gonna be Brent and Ross Fitness today making a fitness video. We were gonna do a day in the shred since I'm cutting right now, but I got a text from BMW. John said, we just got this brand new X3M in. Do you wanna shoot with it today? And I said, absolutely, because this is the first M car that they've actually made in the X3. They've made M packages before, but not an actual true M engine, and they did that here. I don't even have the spec sheet on this car. We just picked it up. I drove it over here for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna be learning about this car as we're going over it. I am familiar enough with BMW, I can point out some things, but I'm excited to go over this with you guys because I'm gonna be learning about it at the same time. Starting at the front of the car, something BMW's been doing in their recent models is huge oversized grills, and they haven't really done that on this one. It still does have this really cool black massive intake, the black kidney grills, and it looks nice with the X3M badging on the front. Overall on the front, I think they did a good job and it looks pretty mean. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I'm really big on picking up little subtle details and accents to make the car like pull it together. So I like the fact that they have the black side inlays and also the black mirrors to match. They also have blue brake caliper there for the M brake calipers behind that black two-toned wheel here. They also stuck with the black all the way around the windows, picking up on the mirror caps and the side inlays, like I said. And they also have the black on top with the roof rails and the moon roof. So having all those different little black accents on this really pretty gray color pulled everything together, in my opinion, really well. As you can see on the back of the car, they have the black badging for the emblem, which looks really nice on the gray paint. But just to break this down for you, so the X3 is the model. The M means that this is the actual M car. You'll see some that say X3 M40i. So that is a M package. This shows you that this is the actual M car when it's X3M. Then below where it says competition, that means it has the competition package on the M car. So this is the highest performance version that they make on this car right now. You'll get extra things like this titanium exhaust that has a really badass note to it. Had some really good downshift sound and acceleration sound to it. The only thing I will say I'm not super stoked about the outside of this car is these little, I don't know what to call them. I know they're for aerodynamics. It's kind of like a roof spoiler, but they look like eyebrows to me. Maybe if they just went straight across, but that might ruin the aerodynamics. I don't know, I just don't really like how those look. But other than that, the outside of this car looks really nice, and you can tell that it's a high performance SUV. Now I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Knowing that this car has 500 horsepower, and this is gonna beat a lot of cars out there, if you don't really know your cars, you might not know what this is. Would you rather drive a sleeper car that's gonna smoke people, or do you want people to know that the car you're driving has something under the hood that they're not gonna be able to hang with? While we're back here, let's take a look at the cargo space in the back. As you can see, there is quite a bit of space back here for road trips. These seats fold down, so that way you can have even more space. Again, making this car very unique that you're gonna get the performance out of it while still having this type of utility usage. We're gonna pop the hood. I wanna point something out again before I open it up. I said something about the kidney grills earlier, how they've been making them bigger. And now that I look at it, because my wife used to actually have an X3, and I like the fact that they made these bigger. The way that they paired this with the intake on the bottom and on the sides, I think it pulled it together a little bit better and it made it look more aggressive from the front. Now here's what makes this car special and so unique. They're getting a little over 500 horsepower. I've seen 503, 504, and about 450 pounds of torque out of this 3-liter straight six. And it also has been said that it gets to 0-60. I'm gonna go test that out here in a minute. In under 4 seconds, just under 4 seconds, or right at 4 seconds is what I've seen the most often. So, you know, you could potentially drive your family SUV, go drop your kids off at kindergarten, and then on the way home, speed around in your 500 horsepower, sub 4 second 0-60 SUV. All right. First impression of this car when I got in it, they killed it. This two-tone seat with this peanut butter brown on the black with the brown stitching, perforated seats, the shape of it, illuminated M in the back of the headrest. They carried the design all the way into the back seat. Two-panel moonroof. Pretty much this entire roof is glass. Carbon fiber on the dash, carbon fiber here. This black all throughout. You have the lights, illuminating lights, and in most BMWs, I'm sure you can on this one, you can change the colors of those. Steering wheel, you now can select your M modes with just one little button which is next to your paddle shifters. So what I like about that is if you're shifting, you can go ahead and shift into one of those modes with your thumb, very simply. Wireless charging. This car on the inside, combined with this engine, so far, so good. I don't know if the camera with the light will pick that up, but I like how it says competition right there real subtly. Just their attention to detail on here was very keen. They didn't really miss anything. This gear shifter, in my old M4 that I had, it was kind of like your F1 transmission where you had to put the emergency brake on. Now you have a park button right here, which made it a little bit simpler for people who were leaving their car and drive. Touch screen up here. These screens work together. Some of the things you have on here, you can move over to here. You have the digital speedometers now, but this touchscreen is really smooth, easy to work. Everything integrates with your phone, your smartphones. As far as tech, design, and luxury, I'd say they pretty much got it right. All right, I said I didn't have the specs on this car, so John just sent them over to me. And just from being in here, I could tell it was loaded, but this has pretty much everything on it. It has executive package, M competition package, which gives you those 21-inch wheels. Also, the color on this is Donington, D-O-N-I-N-G-T-O-N, gray metallic. Then the upholstery in here is black, Alcantara black merino leather with mid-rand beige contrast stitching. So if you like this setup, that's what you're looking for. It also has the competition package, like I said, with the exhaust, the M Sport seats, the Shadowline trim, which was on the outside. It brought those black accents in. And then you can see there's just tons of different other little random options. I won't go through all of them, giving us a total sticker price of $82,695. All right, we're headed back to the warehouse now. Last time I left off with you, I showed you the MSRP of $82,000. Now, this car is fully loaded with all the bells and whistles, so you get it down from that a little bit, let's say mid-70s to be conservative. You're looking at performance SUVs in that price range. I guess a Jeep SRT8 would probably be, as far as a size-wise and power, not the Trackhawk, but I will say this. I actually was buying the Trackhawk and changed my mind when I went to go pick it up and drove it for the first time. And if you have a Trackhawk, it's nothing against the car, but I just didn't feel like it justified the $94,000 that I was going to pay for it. I would rather have this car instead of that Trackhawk. I know this has 500 horsepower instead of 700 like the Trackhawk, but the way that this handles so much better, the power is distributed better than in that car. This feels at that level. Maybe not in a straight line. That Trackhawk's going to beat it, but just overall and how nice it is in here, I think that this is a better buy. Now, almost every car brand right now is coming out with their performance SUV, but because of the size of this car, they made the X3 a little bit bigger for this year, and then putting this engine in this size of an SUV, I think it makes it a very unique, a very desirable combination. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. As I said earlier, I'm no expert on this car whatsoever. I just found out I was going to be driving this car for the first time today, so I didn't do a bunch of research or anything like that. I picked the car up, no spec sheet, and kind of been exploring it while I've been sharing it with you guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this and that you'll subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment down below the answer to my question earlier when I asked you, would you rather have a sleeper car, meaning people don't know how fast it is, they don't know it's a high performance car, or would you rather have people know that the car you're driving is fast? Now, for me, I'm kind of in the middle, but if I had to pick, I will say I would rather have a car that you know is fast. And that's simply because if you're going to spend the money, let's use the Trackhawk again as an example. You spend $94,000 on a Trackhawk, and then Jeep also makes a Trailhawk that looks just like it for about a third, a little less than half of the price. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me if you're going to spend the money on something like that. Now, I will say this, if you have the ability to do custom work on a car and make it a high performance car, so that way it's a sleeper, then that's badass. I approve that and I respect that. That's really cool. So subscribe to the channel, pick up with you guys in the next video. Hopefully one day your dream car become your real car.